Long time ago in Bethlehem, once in royal David's city, oh little town of Bethlehem, Mary's boy child Jesus Christ was born on Christmas Day. While shepherds watched their flocks by night, hark! The herald angels sing, away in a manger, no crib for a bed. Star of wonder, star of night, shone high above on this oh holy night. We three kings from Orient were, bringing gifts of gold, frankincense and myrrh. And everyone adored him. Yes, everyone adored him. Yes, everyone adored him. Christ the Lord. And there we have it, the Christmas story, or the Nativity as it is often known. Now that word nativity simply means the occasion of someone's birth, which means we all have a nativity because we've all been born. But this one, well, this was something special. And that is why I'm going to tell you about it. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to get 2 nativities for the price of 1. Woo! That's right, because there are 2 important births that form this story. So let's start with the first one. Hello, Zechariah is my name, and I am a priest in the temple. And today is a very special day, you see, because I have been chosen to go into the Holy of Holies, the special place in the temple where we believe God's Spirit dwells. And so today I hope that I will get to meet with God and hear his voice. Let's hope so. And God did speak to him on that day. In fact, God gave him a very particular message, that he and his wife Elizabeth were going to have a son, and that they were to call him John, and that he would be a special baby with a very special mission. Now, Zechariah and Elizabeth, well, they were both pretty old by this point, and so Zechariah doubted whether God could actually do this, which didn't go down too well with God, so he decided to teach him a lesson by muting him so he couldn't speak, which made things pretty tricky by the time he got outside and he had to tell everybody what had happened. So while all of that was happening, up in the hills of Judea, a young girl called Mary was just happily minding her own business in the little village of Nazareth. Mary was a good, honest girl who trusted and believed in God. The same God that had told Zechariah and Elizabeth that they were going to have a baby. And now it was Mary's turn to receive a special message. Oh, let's see, it must be around here somewhere, because this is Nazareth. So who am I looking for again? Oh yeah, young Mary. This is gonna be good. Oh, I'm sorry, I haven't introduced myself, have I? I work for the Big G mail messaging service. You've probably heard of us. You know, the Big G. Well, I am his #1 messenger. Gabriel is the name, and delivering divine decrees, well, that is my game. And this one is going to be a blinder. It is the one that we have all been waiting for. And now I get to go and tell Mary the news that she is going to have a baby. A boy, to be precise, but not just any boy. No, it's going to be the Big G's own son. He's going to send him down to live on earth amongst all the people. He's got it all mapped out, and he's even thought of all the details. Here, he's even chosen the name. He shall be called Jesus. Right, let's find Mary. So there you have it, nativity number 2. While Elizabeth was getting big and round and pregnant up in the hills, Mary would now start doing the same in Nazareth. You know, the amazing thing about this is that when Gabriel came and told Mary this news, she didn't freak out or panic. She didn't ask loads of questions, even though she was only young and her partner hadn't done the thing that a man and a woman need to do to make a baby. No, she just said, if this is God's will, then let it be. Wow. Speaking of her partner, there was a problem. You see, Mary wasn't married. She was halfway there. She was engaged to a fine young man named Joseph, the local carpenter in the village of Nazareth. Oh, hello. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Came as quite a shock when Mary told me her news. My sweet little innocent Mary, who I love. I thought she was going crazy, or maybe she'd been eating some of that cheese again before bed. But she seemed sure of it. She had been visited by a Gmail delivery messenger man named Gabriel, and he had told her that she was going to have a baby, a boy. It was going to be God's son, and that I would have nothing to do with it. I decided that I was going to end it. Break off the engagement. You see, I was embarrassed. I was angry and ashamed. And so I decided that I would end it there and then. But then I got a visit from this Gabriel chap as well. And he's quite convincing.
Joseph, son of David, don't be afraid, 'cause God is with you. You can take her as your wife, for all she said to you is true. She will give birth to a son, and you will call him Jesus. He will save the people from all of their sins. Oh, listen up when I tell you now, brother Joseph, son of David. Don't be afraid, God is with you. You can take her as your wife, for all she said to you is true. The child within her is from the Spirit, and so this is God's will. Joseph, don't you worry, you can marry her still. Oh, listen up when I tell you, brother, I said, Joseph, don't you worry, no, you can marry her still.
So Joseph was convinced, and he promised to stand by Mary whatever happened. So let's just have a quick recap. Now, Zechariah was given a message that he was going to have a son. He was going to be called John. He didn't believe this at first, and now he can't speak. His wife Elizabeth is pregnant with John, growing big and large, and is very happy. Mary was given a message by Gabriel that she was going to have a son, but not just any son, it was going to be God's own son, a boy, and she would have to call him Jesus, and now she is blessed and highly favoured. And then Joseph, now he didn't believe this at first, and he got mad and grumpy, but then Gabriel told him it was all going to be okay, and he's promised to stand by Mary whatever happened. Got it? Good. Because then comes a twist in the tale. Ciao, ciao! It is I, Caesar Augustus, ruler of the Roman Empire. And all around a jolly nice guy, see? Oh, but I have a problem, you see? I just do not know how many people are living in the Roman Empire now. We have been conquering so many nations that we do not know how many people there are because they are so spread out. But I need to know so that I can charge them the tax and get nice and rich, see? So how can I make sure that I know where they are? I know. I need to count them all somehow. Make a census, you see, like a list of all the people and where they are living. Oh, but how to count them when they are so spread out? Tagliatelle. I got it. I will make them all travel back to their hometown, see? And then when they are all together in their family group, then we can count them nice and easy, and we will know how many people there are, and then I can charge them the tax. What a brilliant idea. I don't think that would cause too much trouble. No? But it would cause a problem for Joseph and Mary. You see, Joseph was from a town called Bethlehem, which is about 90 miles away from Nazareth. And so Joseph would have to go back there to register as part of Caesar's census. And because Mary was now his wife, she would have to travel with him, even though she was very big and round and pregnant. And like I said, it was 19 miles away, and they couldn't just catch a plane or a bus or order an Uber. They would have to make the journey on foot. Just briefly, while all of that was happening, I just wanted to give you a quick update on our situation. You see, Elizabeth gave birth to our son. That's right, John was born, and mother and baby are doing very, very well. You know, it was only after he was born, and when I announced to everybody that he would be called John, well, that I was able to finally speak again. Oh, it felt so good. You know, I believe our boy is special, and that God has a particular plan for him, a role for him to carry out. Oh, I believe he will be like a messenger, somebody that will go ahead and prepare a way, someone who will get people ready for someone else who will follow on, someone else who will come, someone far greater, someone who will shine like a light in the darkness and change their lives forever. That someone was Jesus. He was about to be born in the little town of Bethlehem. Now, Mary and Joseph, they had arrived there after their long journey, but they were struggling to find somewhere to stay because it was so busy because of the census, and lots of people had come back to the town. But eventually they were offered somewhere to stay, but it wasn't very luxurious. In fact, it was outside where the animals would go to feed. But it would have to do, because it was almost time for this baby, the one that had been promised by God. Jesus was about to be born. Mary took her newborn son and wrapped him in strips of cloth. And when it came time for him to rest and sleep, she placed him gently in a manger. And her and Joseph looked lovingly at their little miracle.
What a gift we have been given. Here is the child that we were promised, not just our own, but the Son of Heaven, lying so peacefully here in our arms. So many things are still yet to be sung. So many lives we know you'll change. Whatever you do, and wherever God leads you, we will hold you here in our hearts. Oh, holy night, oh, hopeful dawn, stars shine bright, the Savior is born. The angels sing for you, Jesus, Emmanuel, God is with us. Oh, holy night, oh, hopeful dawn, stars shine bright, the Savior is born. The angels sing for you, Jesus, Emmanuel, God is with us.
So this amazing thing had now happened. Jesus had been born, and it was time to start spreading the news. You see, lots of people had been waiting for Jesus. They just didn't know when or how or where he would come. But now that it had happened, it was time to start spreading the news. And the first stop for me was a group of shepherds just outside of Bethlehem up in the hills. They'd been working hard all night, so it was them I was going to tell first. This is gonna be fun.
Good shepherds, do not be afraid, for I come to bring good news. The news I have to tell you, it's gonna bring such joy and hope and peace for everyone. You see, the miracle has happened. The Savior has been born right here in the town of David. He is the Christ the Lord, and you have been chosen to be the first to greet this King. When I'm done, run and meet him. Good shepherds, this will be the sign. You will find a newborn child lying in a stable, a manger for his bed. God in human form, Emmanuel, a miracle has happened. The Savior has been born right here in the town of David. He is the Christ the Lord, and you have been chosen to be the first to greet this King. So when I'm done, run and meet him. The miracle has happened. The Savior has been born right here in the town of David. He is the Christ the Lord, and you have been chosen to be the first to greet this King. So when I'm done, run and meet him. Yeah, when I'm done, run and meet him. I said, when I'm done, you must run and meet him.
Woo! Well, Well, so the shepherds, they did exactly what Gabriel said. They ran as fast as they could down to Bethlehem to see for themselves. And sure enough, they found exactly what he had told them. Jesus lying in the manger. Wow. Now from here, they were so excited that they just went everywhere telling everybody they could meet what had happened, how they'd seen Gabriel. Gabriel had arrived, told them the news. Then a whole host of other angels had come. They were singing on the hillside. Then they ran as fast as they could down to Bethlehem to see this thing for themselves. And now, yes, the Saviour had been born. And everyone that they told got equally as excited. But Mary just sat quietly, thanking God that he had chosen her to be the mum of Jesus. Now, while all of this was happening here, in a land far, far away...
we have studied the night sky for many a year now, looking for the sign that the old prophecy would come to pass. We knew about the ancient prophecy from the time of Daniel in Babylon, of how God himself would send a Messiah to save the people. And so, having studied the ancient scriptures and the many other writings, we looked for the signs of when this would come to pass. And then, on this night, there it was. We saw his star shining bright in the sky. And that as wise men, we should follow this star, so that we can be there ourselves for the moment that this miracle happens.
Now, we were travelling on foot, or by the camel, which is a very slow animal. And we do not travel lightly with all of our equipments. And so it took us many days and nights to get there. It would be some 400 miles eventually we would travel. And as we entered into that region, we went to the palace in Jerusalem. After all, we were looking for the new king. A man named Herod was king at the time, and he was also very aware of these prophecies of a Messiah that would one day come. A Messiah who would also be known as the new king. And so he wasn't looking forward to this day at all. So when the wise men arrived with their exciting news that they believed the time had come for the new king to be born, well, Herod did not share their excitement. In fact, quite the opposite. He knew that something needed to be done to stop this new king from taking his place. And so he came up with a plan.
And as we left the palace, the King Herod asked us to do him a favor. That when we have found the child, that we will return and tell him where he is sleeping tonight, so that he too may also go and worship him himself. It seemed an odd request to us, but we agreed. After all, he is a king.
Then we saw the light appear again in the sky, and so we started to follow. And it led us to a home. And as we entered that place, we knew we were witnessing the fulfillment of the prophecy. And as we saw the child, we bowed down and worshipped him in that place. And we brought him gifts. It seemed only right. And so we gave him the gift of gold, because he is a king above all kings. And then we gave him the gift of frankincense, the perfume of royalty and of priesthood. And finally, we gave him a gift of myrrh, a fragrant spice often used in the burial of the dead people. Perhaps an odd gift for someone so young, yet we felt it was important and he would need it for his future. And as the wise men left that place, they planned to go and tell Herod where Jesus was. But thankfully, Gabriel got to them in time and warned them not to let Herod know where this miracle child was sleeping tonight. And so they obeyed, and they just went back quietly to their own land. In fact, Gabriel had quite a busy night. You see, because once he'd finished telling the wise men, he also had to go and warn Joseph about what Herod had planned. You see, because the wise men hadn't told Herod where Jesus was, well, Herod was going to have to resort to some more drastic measures to carry out his plan. And so he decided that the only way to end the threat to his throne was to get rid of all of the newborn boys in that area, all of the boys under the age of 2. He sent his soldiers to carry out the deed. But Jesus was safe. Gabriel had told Joseph to take Mary and their son and escape to the land of Egypt, to lie low there for a while until it was safe to return. And my work was done. All messages delivered to just the right people at just the right time. Zechariah and Elizabeth had John. Mary and Joseph had Jesus. The shepherds had got to worship their Saviour. And the wise men had got to bow down before the Messiah that they'd been looking for. All in all, I'd call that a pretty good piece of work. Don't call me the #1 messenger for nothing, you know. And so there you have it. The Christmas story, the birth of Jesus, the Nativity. Now after a while, King Herod died, and it was safe for Mary and Joseph to take Jesus, and they returned back to the village of Nazareth. And it was here that Jesus grew up, from the young boy into a man who would one day go on to change history. But that is another story. For now, let's stick with this story. And what a story it is. The story of God's plan to show the world how much He loved them by sending us a gift, the gift of His own Son. Now that's what I call a great Christmas present.
Was in the darkness of night, the first Christmas light shone bright and lit up the sky and led people there to the Savior. And now here we are on this night, and people still seek the light to show them the way to find hope and peace in a Savior. The child born in Bethlehem, who grew to be the King of Kings, gave His life for each of us, and now we can sing. At the heart of every Christmas is a light that will shine. The greatest gift given is yours and mine. A Savior is here for us, sent from above. At the heart of every Christmas is God's love. And at the heart of every Christmas is a light that will shine. The greatest gift given is yours and mine. A Savior is here for us, sent from above. At the heart of every Christmas is God's love. At the heart of every Christmas is God's love. Yes, at the heart of every Christmas is God's love.